Hey babes, welcome. I know some of you are expecting to see me live and to have a shared space. However, I thought, what a great opportunity for me to go ahead and hard launch my YouTube channel. So, without much more, we're just going to go ahead and jump right in today. This is a collective reading. It is based around the middle point of the new moon that we just passed and the full moon that's coming up, which is a blue moon. And I had been feeling for a couple days that there was some collective energy and some collective messages that needed to come out, which is usually the way that I process and tap into sharing this information. So I've come up with a beautiful short little spread today, and we're just going to jump right in. Cards are like already flying. So right away, the first area that we are looking into is going to be just the overall energy in the middle point of where we're at, getting the world, the Three of Bows and the Eight of Bows. I think overall we are generally feeling the excitement of something new, and we're generally underneath everything feeling that we've completed a cycle and we're moving into this next phase, and we've made some very real decisions to bring ourselves kind of closer to community and closer to family and closer to loved ones and friends, and prioritizing this sense of unity through a way that is very balanced. Going over into where we just came from with our new moon energies. I wrote new moon and beginnings, so kind of the energy around what was starting to take place last weekend. The new moon came in on Saturday the 16th. So just overall around that, getting the Three of Arrows, the Three of Cups reversed. We'll keep it reversed. And then the Green Man or the Emperor. So it feels like we had to be very logical about what was being shown to us, accepting the pain that was involved in that, and then being able to kind of sit in that pain to realize the greater joy and love that was being offered to us underneath it all. And that however emotional that we may have gotten, there was this kind of standing very firm in what our boundaries and our kind of logical mind was telling us that we needed to focus on, so we weren't getting lost in like an emotional roller coaster. I'm going into the full moon next, which is coming up on the 30th, next Saturday, Sunday, next weekend area. We're getting the Seven of Stones, Judgment, and the Five of Stones. So this full moon, I wrote, releasing. It's a blue moon, which just means that we have two full moons within our calendar month. And when that happens, it's almost like a re-invitation to what we were releasing during the first one. So that would have been right at the beginning of May, on May 1st. So it looks as though this almost releasing, we're really being asked to kind of endure this pain point that came up around the new moon, to really sit with it and allow the integrative process of healing to take place, letting time take time, and understanding that karmic justices are going to play themselves out. And there's not anything that we need to be doing to allow that to happen. What we need to be doing is sitting with the pain and then transmuting that pain into a place of healing these wounds. So it's almost, if we're looking at this as a whole, it's like these great decisions that we have made potentially also brought in an unexpected pain point. However, in that unexpected pain point, we were met with community and healing and an understanding of a greater picture of why we were almost forced into making those decisions anyways. So we're going to go back here and see if we can get a little more specific and just see if we can get some more clarity around what is being shown to us. So going back to the middle point energy of where we are now, and this idea of things coming to an end because we've made decisions and we are no longer on one path and we're deciding to merge into another one, which ultimately brings us to community. We're getting the Two of Swords, the Seven of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. Okay, so, understanding that our own actions have consequences, and what we decide to kind of pick up and put on our plate sometimes can then become overwhelming and can become really heavy for us. And we don't understand that as we're, adding things to us, that those things are stacking up, and that then can fall into this point of feeling really defensive, as if we're being attacked in some way, as if people are doing things to hurt us, or that there's like danger afoot. And we can kind of only feel that way because we have stacked like so much onto our plate. And I believe that we have like made a very clear decision to take some things off the plate. And however hard that had been, again, it's just leading us to a closer connection to the people that are the most important to us. It feels like we are also kind of in this understanding that just because something appears challenging and appears difficult, it doesn't mean that it is. That is, really just the story that you're telling yourself. Okay, so because it seems like really hard and maybe people will get hurt, or maybe things will fall away, or things will shift, or you have to almost like give something up that we like aren't good, or it's not the correct thing to do, and it can like make us all very confused. But all of that is simply because we've just been like loading on and loading on and loading on and loading on and loading on, and not even that like it's all ours to take, just that it's like it's a choice that we've like put it there, and then we're like stuck under it. The way out, and as we kind of make these decisions to literally be like no more, doing that from this extremely grounded place of knowing that you have every right to show up and be volatile and to express anger and rage and hurt, and that you have every single right to almost like fly off the handles. But we don't. It's almost like the pain was so strong, it didn't even allow us the opportunity to express the rage that we were feeling inside. We were so exhausted by the time that we then made these hard decisions to end a cycle, that we had to do it from the most inner, quiet, peaceful place. And that is a place of self-assurance in what we are choosing to do as being correct, because ultimately there is harm to none, because we know innately that we are choosing, peace over confrontation. Getting the clarity around this new moon beginning. So last weekend, getting the Two of Staffs, the King of Swords, and the Five of Staffs. Okay, so we were presented with needing to make a decision. Now is the time, so we did. We did it from a place of solid truth, and we understood the group dynamic that wasn't working, that instilled this decision that needed to take place. Knowing that we have come from, the Two of Staffs to the Three of Staffs now really shows me that we are not stuck in a loop of, did we make the right decision? We are moving forward in that decision that we have made. We didn't let the idea that happiness would go away if we made this decision to overtake us. We didn't let the idea that pain and heartache and maybe jealousy overcome us to not make the decision. We made it anyways. And we did that by fully standing in our truth and showing up in what is truthful and best for us, not for anyone else. And I think also that this is indicating this, where it's showing that the group dynamic had cracks. It's also showing the ways that the group can almost work better. It's really highlighting the singularity that each of us specifically bring to a group setting, and how all of those individual aspects can play out for the betterment of everybody together. And it becomes very obvious when there isn't that's not happening. And then we have the Justice card come in, and it's exactly going back to this karmic retribution, things were shown to you for you to make this decision by way of evening the scales, coming out of a fog, being able to see things clearly, being able to see things truthfully, being able to accept things as they are and not as you wish that they were, which ultimately all just guided us into making these shifts in life that we needed to make. Moving into the area of release for the full moon for next weekend, again, really asking us to, right away I'm getting don't leave home. This is not a full moon to go and be in community spaces. This is really asking us to intentionally sit in this pushing of the final storm that's wrapping up all the uncomfortableness, and that as you sit and you take care of yourself, great healing will come to some old wounds that have been opened up for you over the last couple of weeks. So getting a little more clarity around that. It's funny because it's like judgment came up again. Judgment on top of judgment. Like, honey, there's like nothing that you need to do. Like, actions speak for themselves, integrity speaks for itself. There's no need to cast our judgments onto other people or ourselves. And maybe a big part of this is like, let's take some judgment off of ourselves for how we have handled things. And I'm getting more that like how we handled things in the past or what worked for us and then didn't work for us. We're closing out a cycle, which means we're showing up differently moving forward. And to do that, we need to not get lost judging ourselves for the ways that we have behaved in the past. Also clarified with the 8 of Coins and the 4 of Staffs. Yeah, we're like working really hard at building this dream life that we've always wanted. And, what is being released is probably, it's like this, how you've worked hard before isn't how you're going to work hard moving forward. So letting go of a need to control and a need to decide and a need to fix and a need to, kind of just keep hammering at, right? It's like hammering at this place of healing. Like you're not broken, the greatest part of healing is being able to just sit and feel and allow time and space to move these emotions within all levels of our body, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and just kind of enduring the uncomfortableness that is that moving emotion that's like oscillating within our bodies, in and out of our bodies, in and out of collective, in and out of each other. Your ability to pour your hard work into a new way is being born of you now. Release what is not working. Let go of a need to fight against resistance. And then we get the 4 staffs. Like we are building something together. And that's being so actively shown here. It's like cutting out the people who are not in alignment with what you are trying to build within your soul, family, and community. Because that's what's being built right now. And, taking care of each other and pouring into each other and communicating with each other and being in all of the highs and lows together and not trying to shield anyone from the authentic side of us that is the present day experience that we're having. It's navigating where we need to reach out and where we need to like reach internally. And, as we fine tune all of those things, our relationships are only going to become stronger. And the ones that do not become stronger in this process, like they go away, and that's okay. And everything has its season. And it doesn't mean that, you've done anything wrong or that you're bad. It just is always an opportunity when we, have to reject something or we are rejected from something to pause and internally ask ourselves, like, what is this teaching me about me? And what is it teaching me about them or the situation? And how did I show up authentically to me and what I know to be true? And did I trust and follow myself and my inner guidance system? And if we have ignored moments from the past that were trying to guide us, don't get swept away in like the feelings of that. Just like clock it and like move forward and trust that you are not going to ignore your intuitive pings and guidance on what you know and what you believe to be the best way in which you want to be treated and to treat others. And move yourself forward, releasing shame and guilt and heavy burdens of how you showed up in this dynamic that you're no longer a part of anymore. Feels really beautiful. Then we're gonna, to wrap it up here, I wrote down the biggest obstacle in the way through right now. Getting the Queen of Cups and the Five of Cups. The biggest obstacle, sacrificing a little bit right now for almost like the enjoyment of the future a little bit, is like immediately like kind of where I'm at. What is our biggest obstacle? Like letting go a little bit of what we want to be experiencing right now so that we can like experience 100-fold in a very near future. And the way through and how to do that, pouring into yourself and self-forgiveness, Temperance and Ten of Swords. The way through to kind of endure our way through this time of sacrifice is to pour back into ourselves and to pour into the balancing of how we show up on the inside and the outside, how we allow ourselves to be navigated, how we allow ourselves to express and to communicate and to create and like to work, and getting very real with ourselves that some of our biggest roadblocks are self-created, and that we have just simply stopped ourselves from doing things that we want to do, that we know that we should be doing, things that we like know we need to do, but we don't even like understand why, those things too, you know. And then just like very basic, like little things, like, are we brushing our teeth twice a day? You know, are we wearing our seatbelt? Are we drinking enough water? Are we like getting enough sleep? To let go of a little bit of joy right now and to pour into hard work. You know, that's like our biggest obstacle. And it's our biggest obstacle because there is so much like joy to also be had. But what it really feels like is this investment. We're being asked to kind of invest into the seeds that we're planting for their harvest and growth. We are coming out of this clearing cycle and this dismantling and this ending and this reconfiguring, and you know, like we're just like really on this point of shift, and ultimately where we're going is very unity based and very authentically supportive to one another. And it's like, to get there, we have to remember that pouring into ourselves and to refocusing on ourselves and to letting go of this judgment of self and this pressure of self is going to be a beautiful way. And it also feels like being very vulnerable and very real with the people around you about like what and where those wounds are and where they're coming from. Because there's wounds and they feel very open right now. They feel very exposed and very no longer hidden, and it's exhausting and it's like tiring and confusing, and we're like, oh, I'm done. However, being done and laying down and kind of being sprawled in both areas of your life in this like very real and heavy, and then this very like fun and playful aspect, like just kind of letting go and being in the middle of that, and bringing into balance and harmony both of them, and understanding that there's, that's a way to get to this like ultimately ecstatic future that we're all craving and we're all feeling is right around the corner and we're all getting glimpses of right now. So thank you. I have some lunar cards. They're just lunar affirmation cards, and I felt it would be really appropriate and nice to just kind of end on an affirmation. I knew that that spread was going to be heavy and like bring up some stuff, which it did. And that is how beautiful moon energy works in the subconscious and in the shadows. So I'm just going to do one affirmation card for us here. To bring it home, if you want to close your eyes, let out your breath. We can all take a breath together. So just let it out. And then we'll breathe in and out. And our card is, I trust my inner voice. Everything about this reading kept going back to trusting our inner voice and kept hinting at, hey, you haven't been listening to me. You haven't been honoring me. You've been entertaining me and allowing me to speak to you. However, you've continued to make decisions that do not give the weight of me what it deserves. I am your inner guidance system and voice. Listen to me, and you shall not be lost. But it is up to you to do so. I trust my inner voice. So use this mantra over the next week or so. And as you're reflecting, and keep going back to, I trust my inner voice as you navigate how to sit in the endurance of your pain, to let your wounds heal, to let old doors close as you prepare to walk through new doors. It has been my honor to be here with you today. And again, if you didn't like, subscribe, follow, and comment, I see you. And I trust that you will when you're ready. Till next time.